I have before you today a request for board action to authorize the use of the county's CARES Act allocations as follows: to enter into a contract with Consolidated Telecommunications Company to expand broadband in the areas around Borden Lake, Camp Vanasek, and Lake Edward as on file in the county administrator's office, as well as for COVID-related drops from March to May and Wi-Fi access points deployed which serve COVID-related purposes. The total cost shall not exceed $1.5 million, and CTC shall guarantee any subsequent repayment obligations. Then the second authorization is up to $3 million for economic assistance grants of up to $10,000 each to businesses within the county that have suffered economic losses. And further to contract with Brainerd Lakes Area Economic Development Corporation to provide the administrative services for this grant program. The third element would be up to $1 million for economic assistance grants of up to $10,000 each to tax-exempt nonprofits within Crow Wing County that either suffered economic losses or for program outreach efforts that are associated with individuals that are COVID-related. Thinking about maybe rental assistance, they could apply for this grant for rental assistance or whatever they think would be appropriate. Up to $1 million, up to $1.5 million for reimbursements for COVID-related expenses of Crow Wing County. We have already incurred expenses. As you know, we have provided you with updates on how much we have incurred to date. And what I'm proposing is that as we move forward, any future reimbursements for Crow Wing County's COVID-related expenses would be subject to the county board's approval. Then there is a remaining allocation, and it's not exactly 1 million, it's close to 1 million, so I just have the authorization, any remaining allocation to be reserved at this time for contingencies that are as yet unknown, or to be reallocated to any of the above purposes, subject to the approval of the county board. I would also need the authorization to include authorizing the county administrator to advertise the two grant programs so that we try our best to make sure that people are aware that these grant programs are going to be put into existence. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the request or the CARES Act in general.
So, Commissioner Hoag.
Tim, yesterday I thought I heard in the presentation that we're not 100% sure that the broadband projects would be allowable use, if you will, for these dollars. Is there any way we can find that out? Because if it is, don't you think we should include all of the providers out there? I know some are leery of getting into it because they don't know, but if it is a allowable use, then it seems like we should divvy this out to all of them, not just the one that is stepping up to say that they would potentially pay it back if it does not. We've got how many, 4 or 5 providers out there that I know would have projects if this is a definite allowable use of these dollars. I think it's only fair that we give them the opportunity to utilize those if they're comfortable that it's allowable use. It just seems like we're pushing this through without all of the information, and I don't think it's a fair use of dollars to until we know more about it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Gould.
2 points, Commissioner Hoag. One is we still have the contingency dollars that are available, and so there is still the potential to do some additional project work. And number 2, consistent with what the board's action or discussion, I should say, was yesterday, I am reaching out to the other telecommunications companies. What we have tried to do to insulate ourselves from the risk associated with whether or not it is eligible for CARES Act funds is to require that the company guarantee that if they're not eligible, that they will do the reimbursement on our behalf, that we would not be financially on the hook. That may be a problem for the for-profit companies, but it remains to be seen. So I do have I have a call out. I think we've made contact with TDS. I've made contact with Charter and Spectrum. I have yet to reach CenturyLink, but I hope to yet today. So what I'm suggesting is that door's not closed yet. It's a pretty tight time frame It has to be in the ground by December 1st.
It is, but if I'm reading this right, you've got 1.5 million to CTC,
That is correct.
which
today.
leaves a small portion for the others if we learn that this is an allowable use. You know, I don't know how hard, difficult it is to find out if this is a allowable use, but then we should look at the total amount of money and divvy it up based on all the providers. It doesn't leave a lot for the remaining 3 or 4 providers, if indeed,
Okay.
because I know that they obviously would have projects, but it just seems like we're, again, a little bit ahead of ourselves on that one particular. I'm in agreement with everything else, but I've had calls from people that have charter, for instance, and they have the same issues as everybody else, but if we find out that this is allowable use, then they just have been skipped over in this issue. So
Well-
I don't know if we can table that part of it until we learn more, and move forward with the rest of it. I just want to have this as a fair program to all of the providers in Crow Wing County, not just one in particular, so.
And I think
Okay,
I think our administrator has,
Franzen.
I think our administrator has done a good job. I know he's been in contact with the other places. This is the one place who is guaranteed that they would pay for it if it's not allowable.
Well,
And the others didn't step up.
let's find out if it is allowable
Well,
Yeah.
before
I
we
think this
award.
is a great opportunity.
Well, I'm not
Well-
saying it isn't a great opportunity. I'm saying let's make it fair to all the providers.
It is.
I don't believe it is.
All right, so then if that's the way you guys feel, then the chair will postpone this to the next county board meeting then. Any additional business?
I would.
Any additional business?
I would like to suggest we move forward with the other items and get those in motion and do some research on this broadband issue. I don't think we need to hold the others up because I believe everybody's in agreement with that.
I would make a motion that we go forward with all 6 items.
Commissioner Franzen makes a motion to move forward with all the items that you
That
were-
includes advertising, which
Cor-
isn't
correct.
listed.
that you have at your desk. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Barrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Chair will take the roll. Commissioner Brecken.
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows.
Aye.
Commissioner Hoag.
No,
Commissioner Franzen.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion is passed.